Hello and welcome back to class. My name is Tati and today we'll be flowing through a short yoga flow sequence to build some energy and heat in the body while also working on improving your flexibility and mobility. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and click subscribe before we get started in a comfortable cross-legged seated position. So finding a nice tall spine. If it doesn't feel comfortable to sit in cross-legged, you can come to modify, resting the hands on the knees, relaxing the shoulders, and perhaps closing down the eyes. Arriving in your practice. Taking a nice deep breath in through the nose and exhale side out through the mouth. Blinking open the eyes and then finding into all fours tabletop position. So you're coming with the hands underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips, and then we're going to start by drawing figure of 8. So drawing the hips forward and back. Drawing that figure of 8, gently warming up the wrists and the spine. And then switching the direction, flowing into a reverse figure of 8. Finding back into tabletop position, tucking the toes, hovering the knees a few inches up off the mat, breathing in, and exhale, pressing the hips up and back, finding downward facing dog, and pedaling out the feet here, so bending into one knee, straightening the other leg, and then alternating, gazing at your fingers to check that your 10 fingers are spread wide, and making contact with the mat. And then finding stillness in your down dog, taking 2 deep breaths in and exhale. Inhale, gazing forward, rolling the spine forward into a plank position. Nice, strong arms, strong core. Exhale, bending the knees, rippling back into downward facing dog. Inhale, coming onto the tiptoes, rippling forward. Exhale, finding back into your down dog, and then continuing to flow through a few more rounds of your down dog. High plank spinal waves. And if at any point this gets too much, you can come down onto the knees and flow through a few rounds of cat-cow instead. And the next time you find into your high plank position, breathing here, exhale, lower yourself slowly all the way down onto the belly, untuck the toes and sliding the forearms forward. So now your elbows are underneath your shoulders. You're peeling your chest open, gazing forward, pressing the forearms and the palms into the mat, finding a gentle back bend in sphinx. Exhale from here, bending into the left leg, and you can stay here if that feels strong enough, or if you don't like the sensation in your lower back, you can also come down, so coming off your elbow and onto the forearms. And if possible, you can float your left hand behind, finding your foot and drawing the heel towards the bum, only if this feels good. Also, again, the option to do this variation, but with the forearm flat on the mat, parallel to the short edge of the mat. So listening to your body. Don't go anywhere where you feel pain in your lower back. Exhale, release. forming a little pillow with your forearms resting the forehead on top, and then just gently shaking the hips from side to side. And exhale, coming back through sphinx pose, breathing here, broaden the chest. Exhale, bending into the right foot. So again, same options here. You can stay with your arms in sphinx, or you can bring them down to the forearms parallel to the mat, lowering the chest. Option to just stay here, or you can float the right hand behind, finding the foot and drawing the heel towards the bum, either gazing forward or gazing back towards the right foot. Breathing here, feeling the sensation. And exhale, release. Hands come underneath the shoulders, and then either pressing yourself up in a straight line or coming via all fours tabletop, but try pressing yourself up all the way into a high plank position, and then exhale, downward facing dog. Good job. Maybe giving the head a little shake, yes or no. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, step it forward between the hands. High runner's lunge, finding your stable base. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Sinking low, shoulders draw away from the ears. And exhale, opening up into a warrior two. Gazing over the right fingertips. Inhale, flip the front palm, leaning forward. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Right arm draws up and overhead. Think about that nice length being created across the right side body. Exhale, coming through warrior two, finding into your side angle pose. So right hand can come to the inside of the right foot, or you can rest the right arm on the right thigh. Left arm draws up and overhead. Breathing in. And exhale, framing the front foot, walking the right foot towards the outer edge of the right mat, with the left toes still tucked and the knee up off the mat, gently rocking backwards and forwards, opening up the left hip. And then from here, lowering the left knee down. You can stay in your lizard with the hands on the mat, or maybe coming down onto the forearms. Breathing deeply. And inhale, coming back onto your hands, walking the right foot to the inside of the left wrist, and then coming down into pigeon pose. So extending the left leg back, bending the right knee. You don't want any pain here, so putting the right foot either closer to the pelvis or closer towards the top of the mat, wherever feels more comfortable. It definitely depends on your anatomy, so finding where feels good. Inhale, pressing into the fingertips, open up the chest. And exhale, coming down onto the forearms, or maybe forming a little pillow with your hands resting the forehead down. We're here for you, a few rounds of breath. Inhale, gently lifting yourself back up, pressing into the hands, tucking the left toes and pressing yourself back up, downward facing dog. And the option to stay here for a few rounds of breath or flowing through a vinyasa, so finding into high plank position, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, we all meet back in downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg sweeps up, three-legged dog. Exhale, stepping the left foot forward between the hands. High lunge, breathing in to find a nice stable foundation. And then lifting the arms up, sinking into your high lunge pose with the right heel lifted up off the mat. Breathing in. And exhale, opening up into warrior two. And I'll come to face you this way around. So gazing over the left fingertips. Nice stable foundation. Inhale, flipping the left palm, leaning forward. Exhale, reversing your warrior. Inhale, coming through warrior two and finding sine angle. Either left hand rests on the left thigh or coming with the left hand down to the mat. Finding into your side angle. Exhale, framing the front foot, walking the left foot towards the outer edge of the mat. Keeping the right knee up off the mat and gently start rocking backwards and forwards. Opening up the hips, feeling the stretch in the hamstrings and the glutes. And then from here, lowering the right knee to the mat. You can stay here with the palms pressing into the mat in lizard pose. Or if it's in your practice, you can work towards bringing the forearms down to the mat. Remember to breathe. This can be quite a challenging pose. And exhale, pressing back into the hands, walking the left foot towards the right edge of the mat and finding into pigeon. So bending the left knee, right leg extends down the mat. Inhale, pressing into the fingertips, opening the chest. And exhale, staying here or walking yourself down, forming a pillow with the arms resting the forehead on the arms and sinking into your pigeon pose. And notice any resistance you might have in your physical body to this pose or even mentally. Just observing what comes up for you. Inhale, gently pressing back up, pressing into the fingertips, open the chest, and exhale, step it back, downward facing dog. Breathing in, nice, strong foundation through the fingers and the toes, and then again the option to flow through your vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, walking the hands back towards the feet. And then keeping the feet about hip-width distance apart. Melting the upper body over the thighs. You can keep a nice bend in the knee. Hands resting on the mat. Or maybe holding onto opposite elbows. Gently swaying from side to side. Releasing in your forward fold. Inhale, slowly rolling yourself all the way up, one vertebra at a time. And then stepping the feet wide, hands on hips. Inhale, open the chest. And exhale, folding forward. Wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, pressing the hands into the mat, finding a halfway lift. Exhale, release. The hands can walk back so that the wrists are in line with the heels, or you can hold onto the ankles, or maybe clasping the hands behind the back and drawing the arms up overhead. So a few options here for you, taking whatever variation feels best in your body today. Inhale, pressing into the mat. Left hand stays directly underneath the face. Exhale, right arm draws up, finding into a twist, gazing up. And switching sides, right hand comes down. Inhale, left arm reaches up, finding a twist towards the left side. And exhale, release, hands on hips, slowly lifting yourself all the way back up, heel toe, the feet about hip width distance in. So now the toes are pointing out, heels are in, hands at heart space, and then lowering yourself all the way down into malasana, our yogi squat. And you can use the hands in front of you as stabilizers. You might like to walk the knees from side to side, first opening up. And maybe pressing the hands together, elbows press against the knees to help open up into yogi squat. And you can stay here, or if you'd like to work a bit on an active variation of the pose, you can extend the arms forward and still try keeping the knees drawing away from one another. So this requires a little bit more strength. And exhale, releasing all the way down onto the mat, holding the inside of the knees, rounding the spine all the way down onto your back. Feet come flat to the mat, and they're just as far as the tips of your fingers can about touch your heels, about hip width distance apart, and preparing for bridge pose. So inhale, activating the core and glute muscles, lifting the hips up off the mat, pressing the forearms into the earth, or maybe clasping the fingers and then walking the shoulder blades closer together to help lift the pelvis even more. Keeping the chin tucked. Breathing here. And exhale, slowly lower yourself down one vertebra at a time, hugging the knees into the chest, maybe rocking from side to side. And then you can stay here in your knee hug pose, or maybe finding the outside edges of your feet or holding onto the big toes and finding into happy baby. Feeling the whole length of the back against the mat, sinking the shoulders, relaxing the muscles in the face, the chest, hip. And release, taking any final poses that feel good for you before preparing for shavasana. So finding into our final resting pose with the arms and legs spread out wide, palms facing up. I invite you to close down the eyes now. Let go of any tension in your body. Feeling yourself sink heavy into the earth, and gifting yourself the next few moments of deep rest and relaxation. inhale, start to deepen the breath. Inviting movement back into the fingers and toes, wriggling them. And perhaps stretching the arms up and overhead, pointing the toes, finding length in your body. Hugging the knees into the chest. And then slowly in your own time, finding your way up into a seated position, keeping the eyes closed for now. Finding a nice tall spine in your seated position, hands rest on the knees. And take a moment to notice how you feel now at the end of class. Thanking your body for all the strength and movement it enables you to do. Maybe you're feeling a bit more flexible and calm. Maybe not, that's also okay. Bringing the palms together at the heart space, bowing the gaze. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing this yoga flow with me today. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments which was your favorite pose. And don't forget to subscribe if you aren't already. If you are, thank you so much. It's the best way to support this channel. And I look forward to seeing you on the mat again real soon. All my love.